It's Tuesday afternoon, and thanks for starting it with us here on THV11. I'm Michael Larin alongside meteorologist Scott Covert. So it still felt pretty cool out there this morning.
Right.
It's pretty seasonable. What's the afternoon looking like?
Feeling a lot like December all day long. Plenty of sunshine. Talk about a beautiful December afternoon. That's what's on tap for today. Let's take a look here at your satellite and radar. Mostly clear skies, a few high clouds passing in southwestern Arkansas. We're going to see a lot of sunshine the rest of today. Today it's winter solstice, the first official day of winter, which means we have the shortest amount of daylight today. Tomorrow, we'll start actually adding daylight back into our day. It's 51 degrees in Little Rock, 49 in Russellville and Hot Springs. Our high today, 55 degrees. You'll find that today's temperatures are a little bit warmer than yesterday under that mostly sunny sky. What's Christmas look like? Well, between now and then, we're going to see a gradual warm up that actually takes us into the 70s, 73 both Friday and Saturday. We very well could break a all-time record high temperature on Saturday. It was actually set back in 1942. All indication is that nonetheless, record-breaking or not, it's certainly going to be warm and mild. More details on your extended forecast coming right up.
Scott, thank you. Every 3 seconds, someone needs blood. That's why it's so important we all do our part. THV11's Ashley King is live from the hall where the 11th annual blood drive, THV11 blood drive, is happening right now. Ashley.
Hi, yes, we're here at the new Hall Event Center just around the corner from THV11 with the Arkansas Blood Institute. We have several people that are here giving blood right now, and they're actually going to be here set up until 3:30, and you can stop by. And as you just heard Michael say, that there is a great need for blood donors here in the state of Arkansas. 1 in 3 people will need a blood donation in their lifetime, and you can help save lives. You can also get a little help yourself with your holiday shopping if you donate. There are some Visa gift cards that are available to win. You get a free t-shirt and so much more. We're going to tell you about those incentives coming up here in just a little bit.
Ashley King live for us this afternoon. Ashley, we'll see you in a few. New at noon now, fire officials spent the morning at the scene of a fire that happened at the old Cajuns Wharf building off of Cantrell in the Riverdale area. This is a view from RView 11 earlier this morning. The spokesperson for the Little Rock Fire Department says that they got calls about flames and smoke coming from the building this morning. He says the fire started on the back deck and upstairs, but it is now out. The building is unoccupied right now, but we're told it is under renovation. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused this fire. Turning our attention to the COVID-19 pandemic, state health officials say they are confident the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is circulating around the state, but they are unsure just how widespread and how quickly that is happening. The first case confirmed last week is still the only one in the state, but that's largely in part because the testing done to figure out what strain a person has to take place in an out-of-state lab, and that could take up to 2 weeks. So if you think you're sick, what should you look for? According to early data from the CDC, the most commonly reported Omicron symptoms are cough, fatigue, and congestion or a runny nose. Dr. Jennifer Dillahay says it's too early to know just how severe Omicron infections are.
We know that it's potential that this causes milder illness for a larger proportion of people, but there will still be a proportion of people for whom it is not mild. It could potentially be severe illness that could result in hospitalizations, and that's an important consideration.
Dillahay, who is the chief medical officer for the state, also notes that there is the potential for long-term impacts. With other COVID variants, some people with mild disease still end up with long-term complications like brain fog, shortness of breath, and fatigue. We want to take a look at the latest numbers now. 413 new cases of COVID-19 were reported on Monday. That's a slight increase on the amount we saw Sunday and over 100 more than we had last Monday. Unfortunately, 26 more people died on Monday. COVID-19 deaths have been on the rise all throughout this month. It's partially due to a lag in reporting from the Thanksgiving holiday, but also due to the higher cases and hospitalizations. The government says U.S. population growth is the lowest it's been since the founding of our nation, and they say COVID is one of the leading factors for the decline. This comes as the Omicron variant is now sweeping across the country, forcing the Biden administration to respond. Natalie Brand has the latest from the White House.
President Biden is laying out a stepped-up strategy to help battle the Omicron surge, now the dominant variant in the United States.
This is not a speech about locking the country down. This is a speech outlining and being direct and clear with the American people about the benefits of being vaccinated, the steps we're going to take to increase access and to increase testing, and the risks posed to unvaccinated individuals.
The White House is announcing it will increase pop-up vaccination sites, add federal testing sites, purchase 500 million at-home rapid tests to send to Americans for free starting in January, and it will deploy additional troops to help overwhelmed hospitals.
It's the unvaccinated people who are the most vulnerable not only to getting infected, but to getting a serious outcome.
With the pandemic impacting yet another holiday season, the administration's health experts say family gatherings can be safe if individuals are vaccinated and boosted and take other precautionary measures such as testing and wearing masks around strangers. Dr. Anthony Fauci also notes there could be a silver lining ahead.
We're hoping that when we get through this Omicron wave, that we will have enough people vaccinated and or having been infected and recovered well, that there will be a degree of immunity in the community such that you don't have a situation where it's dominating your life.
But for now, cities including Washington, D.C. are reinstating mask mandates. Los Angeles has canceled its in-person New Year's Eve celebrations, and New York is debating whether or not to have its Times Square ball drop. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
We expect the president to address the nation at 1:30 this afternoon. Governor Asa Hutchinson will do the same also at 1:30. You can watch live on thv-at-noon. Officials say the U.S. has experienced its first known death from the Omicron variant with an unvaccinated person in Houston, Texas. 2021 has been a violent year for the city of Little Rock, but steps are being taken toward making sure that isn't the case when the calendar turns. The U.S. Department of Justice awards the city of Little Rock a innovation program grant worth $1 million. The 3-year award will serve students and staff at Stevens Elementary and Community Center, aimed at helping create a better relationship between the school, community, and law enforcement.
It's about food, it's about libraries, it's about having a plan inside the school to make sure that there's health care provided, there's mental health care provided, and those things aren't easy. And so this grant is really a big deal to me and to our district, and most importantly, it's going to be a big deal to our kids.
That funding will provide Stevens with better resources to help with behavioral health and intervention services related to violence. It will also allow for 2 full-time social workers at the school. I want to switch gears now to a consumer alert. Restaurants have been hit hard during the pandemic with shutdowns and a lack of workers, and the industry continues to struggle with another popular ingredient in short supply. Naomi Ruckham explains.
Food shortages are now spreading to local bagel shops. That's because it's hard to find cream cheese.
It kind of just hit it. It was just like all of a sudden out of the blue.
Bo's Bagels in New York usually buys cream cheese in bulk from distributors like F&H Dairies. But on this day, the cooler was nearly empty.
Usually this is just wall-to-wall bulk cream cheese, all along the pallet racks.
That's forcing bagel shop owners to look for it in grocery stores, which can be a challenge. Sometimes there's plenty available, and other times the shelves are bare.
The aisle for cream cheese was completely empty, so which was really a shock.
Kraft Heinz, which makes Philadelphia cream cheese, says demand has increased since the pandemic started. This year, the company has shipped 35% more product than last year.
Having a hard time finding cream cheese on shelves means having a hard time putting cheesecakes on tables.
Kraft ran a promotion last weekend actually suggesting alternative holiday desserts for people who can't find their product. The company even offered a $20 reimbursement to 18,000 customers.
Consumers are going to have to be patient with the sporadic shortages that they might be seeing for different products.
Cornell University professor Christopher Wolf says labor and supply chain issues continue to hurt much of the food industry.
We're going to be well into 2022, if not, most of 2022, I think, before we can get recovered from this. But the $64,000 question is what's going to happen with COVID and us getting back to some semblance of a normal labor market.
At this point, it's just not clear when the cream cheese shortage will ease. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
How unfortunate.
How unfortunate. All of these shortages, I'll tell you what the latest shortage is, my patience when it comes to these shortages. We've just gone too far.
I know, it just seems like every other day we have a different one.
It's what it feels like.
At least they're trying to address it by compensating people for not making their cheesecakes, I guess.
$20 though? Let's bump that up.
You know what?
30 and I'll think about it.
I will say any weather is good weather for a bagel and cream cheese. I don't care if it's going to be 80 degrees later this week.
There is a bit of a shortage in sunshine. The reason why? Today's actually the shortest day with the amount of sunlight in today. You know why?
Why is that?
Winter solstice.
Okay.
Today's the day. First day of winter. Doesn't feel like it outside. It's going to continue to get warm later this week. Here's a live look at Pinnacle Mountain State Park off in West Pulaski County. A beautiful day to take a hike under all this sunshine. How much warmer is it going to get? What's your Christmas forecast look like? I've got those answers coming up when we return.